Hey, my name's Campbell. This is my mixed media YouTube channel as opposed to my drawing channel. But over my drawing channel, I'm doing 12 weeks of whimsical women, how to draw faces, and I'm obsessed. So I thought I would bring a little bit of that face drawing over to my mixed media channel today. I'm going to show you my favorite way to do a napkin collage based background and then how to draw a gorgeous face on top using one of my most favorite mixed media supplies ever, the Stabilo All Pencil. So the supplies are minimal, the impact is maximum. Grab a cup of coffee. I just brewed a fresh cup for myself, and let's begin. Oh, and before I forget, if you're new to drawing faces and you want to grab my guidelines, my face guidelines cheat sheet that I used as the basis for literally all my faces I've ever drawn ever that are front facing, just drop a comment below and say, hey, I want your face guidelines, and you can have it. And then too, you can use it while we're drawing together because you're drawing with me, right? Don't just make me draw all by myself. That's no fun. Go get your pencils. Let's go. All right, I have my favorite watercolor paper journal here. This is filled. It's actually on my last page. I'm so excited. I'll have a flip through soon. So this is very appropriate. It will be a very special last page. All right, so working with napkins. Working with napkins in mixed media is super awesome for obvious reasons, but the first one being that, like, oh my Lord, the colors and the combinations and the possibilities are like literally endless. And so is the fun. I mean, I've used this fish paper to do a foam head. I've used it to do a watercolor piece that I just also on a piece of wood board that I then poured epoxy resin on top of. I've also done it for a mermaid themed art journal spread. I mean, just the images and the illustrations and the color combinations. Napkins are a fabulous mixed media art tool. Love, 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 love. And the second best part, other than the colors and the combinations and the inspiration that you can get from these napkins, is actually knowing that your color scheme is already there for you. So for any project that you're doing, you simply pick the paint colors based on the exact colors that are in your napkin, and you have a win. Win, win, win. So that's one of my biggest cheats overall. So napkins can be a little bit tricky because they are so fine. So here's how you do it. First thing you need to do is separate the plies. So you want to, sometimes this is very difficult, sometimes it's super easy. This is rare though. It's usually a little bit harder than that. So you can reuse this other piece. You can use it for a napkin to blot things off, obviously. A lot of times these are actually 2-ply, and so there's another, oh, yep. There's another layer in here. So here we go. Thank God this is an easy one. Sometimes I have to like time lapse, put music on because it's this arduous affair. This one magically is going very well. Oh, so appreciative of that napkin. Thank you. Again, you can use this, recycle it, use it for toilet paper, whatever. Don't just throw it away. All right, so you have your paper or your napkin. So all right, so now it's a matter of gluing it down. So you really have two choices. One is you can lay it down as one piece. That's the hardest thing to do because when you get liquid up under here, it wants to bubble and wrinkle, and it's actually super challenging. So it's easier instead to actually break off pieces and do it in smaller sections. It's kind of, you know, it's frail, as you know, as you can imagine. So it's easier for everybody concerned to not do it in one foul swoop, but to do it in smaller sections. And because it will be a background, it doesn't matter if your things are perfect. Like, it's going to be wrinkly. The reason that we use it and that it's cool is because it has texture. So it's not going to, like, throw your images of perfection out the window because this is mixed media art and it gets messy. And this is no exception. But it's super fun and worth it. So I'm going to show you my best tips for getting out the bubbles and the wrinkles as best as you can. And the first thing lies with the adhesive material that you're going to be using. And I love matte medium. I'm going to go grab my bottle and I'll show you exactly how I do it. All right, my biggest tip that I have for you is use way more than you think. This is the same goes true for scrapbook paper, which I've just done a bunch of videos on how to use scrapbook paper for collage. The biggest mistake people use is they use it really sparingly, and it's like a nightmare. So I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, use an uncomfortable amount. Okay? It just works better because it doesn't allow for air bubbles and things to go under. So you have to use, I pour it directly onto my surface. The reason I use matte medium is that's super fluid, and this is very frail. So when you use something like gel glosses or gel mediums, it's too much. It's too thick and it just tears right through your paper. And also, I don't use Mod Podge because it is also a little bit too glossy, even the matte. And also, I've done a whole video on why matte medium over Mod Podge, but especially in this instance, we're gonna be applying paint, right? This is our base layer, and we're gonna be putting paint on top. And so matte medium is specifically formulated to work with your acrylic paints. They marry just lovingly well together. So we're just gonna use the products that were specifically designed to work with paint because, well, actually I don't know, I might use some paint on here. But if I want to use paint, I know my options are open. So you wanna put a lot of matte medium underneath your napkin, and you also want to put a lot medium on top of your napkin. We're going to saturate it. It will obviously soak through from under as well. So what this allows you to do is conquer your wrinkles, okay? So you have to be, it's more of like a pat because if you swipe really hard, it just breaks your napkin right in half. But this allows you to lovingly take your finger and smooth. I actually have no wrinkles that I can feel. I can see a little bit, but it reduces the texture greatly to use a lot under and a lot over, and then you're just good to go and you're up and running, because otherwise you can run into a really big, you can run into a lot of trouble when you're using collage materials by A, not using enough glue, and B, not putting it over and under. So that's my biggest piece of advice ever, is like use way more. You want it to be like sopping wet, not tacky. But it is cool because if you don't get it all the way under, see I have this giant fold. This is why even this piece is like way ginormo. You see how hard it is to get it flattened out? Because this piece, even though it's partial, is still huge. So I'm kind of like using my sponge to pat down, and that allows the matte medium under to soak up through, and that helps me better eliminate any wrinklage that I have. And I'm also working from the edge towards the inside, and that allows me to like slowly and systematically, you can use your finger too, and more liquid to really soak through. My son is texting me from homeschool. Uh-oh. All right, so we're gonna pat. That allows the upper level and the lower level to seep through. Oh, Billy, stop texting me. To text through to the lower. And then I can smooth the wrinkles out very systematically and gently so we don't tear the napkin unless we want to. And if it does tear, don't worry about it. We already have tears. Remember, you really can't be precious about mixed media work. I mean, you can be, but it kind of wrecks the fun, in my humble opinion. So it's all right if it wrecks, if it rips. We already have some rippage. And then, yeah, pounce, and then smooth. Pounce, smooth. Any areas that are not soaking, go get them wet. Okay, and this allows you to super nicely get rid of any like psycho wrinkles that might be wanting to pop up. What's cool about napkins too is they have a repeating pattern, right? So you can kind of scrumble them up on your paper and it all kind of ends up working out. I'm just gonna turn my camera off for 1 second and see what my son needs and then come back. Oh my God, this is the cutest text ever. All right, this is my son's text. This is Billy, he's 14. Hey, can you wash Bunny when you can? Maggie somehow grabbed him off the shelf. Just has dog slobber. All right, this is my son who's been sleeping with the same two stuffed animals since he was an infant. And he's so cute. He's like, can you wash Bunny? Oh my gosh, that's the cutest text in existence. Worth being interrupted for. I'm like, of course I can wash Bunny. We love Bunny. Bunny, if Bunny has made it this far, Bunny has been on every vacation, every airplane ride, every car trip, since the beginning of his birth, and it's just so cute. Bunny is basically like the member of the family. That's the cutest ever. Of course I'll take care of Bunny. Bunny is precious. I'm gonna be so sad the day he doesn't sleep with Bunny anymore. You guys a lot of you probably know Billy because he's I have 3 sons. And he is the reason I have a YouTube channel. He has been my IT helper guy for years and years. And he's just always had an interest in my YouTube channel and in my business. And he helps me. I pay him to help me with all sorts of things with my art school. And he's a great little doober. All my kids are great little doobers, but he's the one that's sort of probably the only one that's known to my audience because he helps me with my lives and my giveaways. He's the one who set up my original Patreon platform. Oh, see, I just was going too fast and I did a big rip. That's all right. If it happens, just take it out. Okay, so slow down and do what I was doing before, which is tap, tap, tapping down. That really will help minimize the ripping, and then smooth, smooth, smooth. See, stop yabbering, Karen, and pay attention to your own advice. All right, so damp, damp, and smooth, smooth. And again, when it gets dicey, add more glue. Okay. Now, any of these pieces start drying and popping up, you just take more matte medium and you just simply knock it back down. Be like, settle down there, my friend. And then I want to put this last piece right in this empty spot. And you can also have it overlapping, which is fine. It's a little bit less troublesome if you don't have it overlapping, but too late now. Too late now, and get enough for like pretty much my mantra with all of my art. Whatever. Oh, that's another one. Whatever. Oops. Too late now. All right, so it's splitting there, so I need to slow down. But again, I'm just like working this in by tamping and in the matte medium carefully. So it's all one big happy mashed family. Now, I am not the type of artist who's like, okay, now let it dry overnight. And when you come back in the morning, because like I have a lot of things going on, I do not have time to be waiting for anything to happen overnight. This needs to be done like yesterday. So we are not going to be waiting. I'm going to be getting my hair dryer in a second. And I choose hair dryers over heat guns because they don't get hot enough where they can ruin anything, and they work faster because they have the blower part. And I think that's what people miss out, is like heat gun doesn't have the airflow. I want to blast this sucker. I want a lot of airflow, and that's why I use a hair dryer over a heat gun, because I want the heat a little bit, but I want more of it. I want that air blasting, because the air flow is what dries this super fast. So I'm gonna turn my camera off because watching this dry is super boring, and then I will dry, and then I'm gonna be right back and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna put on top. So get your pencils ready. If you have a Stabilo wall pencil, oh my gosh, come and use it with me. If you don't, that's fine. Just grab a regular graphite pencil and I'll show you where to shade using graphite. It's all good, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is all dry. It just takes a few minutes, maybe like 3 minutes of good old-fashioned hair dryering, and you're good. All right, I want to create like a space for my face. Oh, I forgot to get my reference picture. I have to go get that. So But I need to clear, like it's too crazy right now with just all, like if I drew a face on here, you would never be able to see it. So I like to use a little gesso to lighten things up. So I have just white gesso. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can apply it, obviously, but I just want to show you, these are my top favorite ways. All right, one is actually a credit card. I can't find my normal mixed media credit card, so this will do, but a credit card is actually the bomb. And you can apply it, and it will scrape it on, and it actually picks up the texture. So I'm actually going to just demo all of these right here, okay? So as you can see, it produces like an edgy look, and it plays upon the texture in here in like a cool way. Like how cool is that? When it picks up all, like if you put it on really sparingly and you rake it on top, it picks up all the little wrinkles and it gives it a super cool look. So I love doing that like around the edges, and it makes like a really edgy effect. So that's number one. Number two is just a simple brush, right? Which will smooth it out. Number three is a foam brush where you put it on and it will actually, you know, similar to a brush, but you don't get the brush strokes. And you can create a lot more drag. You can also dampen it, and that will create a different effect. And then my last favorite way is actually to use sponges and then pounce the gesso on. And so all of them make very different, create different techniques. And you can also have a different look if you wet your sponge first or if you use a dry sponge. So I'm gonna wet a tiny bit. I just dunked my sponge, so it's not soaking at all. It's just slightly damp. So each of these ways will produce a different effect. Now I use gesso and not regular paint because I want it to be transparent, because I want the napkin to show through. I don't want to like cover up everything, right? I mean, you could, but then what's the point of using the napkin? So this allows some of the napkin colors to show through. It gives additional texture. So if you don't like this pouncing look, then just don't use a sponge. Opt for one of the other methods. Oh, and the last message I forgot is the brayer. And this is a great for like, you know, nice and messy projects. It also does a good job of spreading it out. So as you can see, it's more concentrated in the middle, and then it helps to spread out. Also does similarly to the credit card, where it's picking up the texture. And it's like you kind of use the napkin because the texture is the cool part. So don't be afraid of it. That's kind of the whole point of it. And if you don't like texture, and it's fine. I'm a huge believer of like, it's okay not to like things. So if you don't like the texture, all you have to do is simply steer away from the napkins, use scrapbook paper instead. I mean, Lord knows you can collage with a million things. So if you try this once and you're like, ugh, this texture is not for me, don't even worry about it for a hot second. No one will judge you. It doesn't matter. It's your art. Do whatever you want. All right. So then we just have a little bit of like, see how it knocks back the crazy design, and now I can like, whew, we made a little room in the middle. So that's where we're gonna draw the face. And I'm gonna dry this with my hairdryer again. And then we'll be ready to draw on it, but only when it is dry and ready to rock and roll. All right, so I just got a reference. Look at our killer cheekbones. Can't even stand it, so good. All right, I'm having like a issue because my stupid journal is so big. It's not stupid journal, it's actually the best journal in the world, but I gotta ooch this like this so we can all see better. There we go. All right, it's face drawing time. Okay, so I'm gonna just do the sketch in regular pencil, and then when I'm happy with my lines, I'm gonna switch to Stabilo All. By the way, this is the guideline sheet. If you want it, just let me know. But I'm gonna drop down no matter, I don't care, I have published multiple books on drawing faces. It doesn't matter, I always draw my guidelines to this day, and I will never stop. Just sets me up for success. The drawing series that I'm doing on my drawing YouTube channel is amazing because we're doing whimsical women for all over the world. So I'm telling you, by the way, Halfway between, you drop a horizontal line, that's your eye line. You have a line down the center that makes sure everything is symmetrical. Between the eye and the chin is the nose line. Between the nose line and the chin is your mouth line. Just so I explain the little cheat sheet that comes with you, and it's all written here on the sheet. Yeah, we even gonna pop in the little neck. Maybe her neck will be like kind of broke. And we're sketching in a little darker so we can actually see. Oh my God, her face is amazing. Talking about her reference, this reference picture. All right, so if you don't have a Stabilo all pencil, just use a regular pencil. But just so you know, a Stabilo all pencil is super water soluble. So I'm gonna draw with it dry, and then when you add water with a paintbrush, it like dissolves like crazy. It's super cool. All right, so I have our one eye here. This is also why I go to lengths to add a little gesso, because otherwise I can't see anything. And I tend not to erase. I just kind of leave it all there like a big old mess. Because I don't know, because it's fun. All right, her cheek lines are nuts. Love, love, love. Here I'm gonna do an exaggerated kind of lid. And then here is her eyebrows. Perfect curve. Perfect curve. Her hair is kind of, she's got a side part. So hair, you pick a point on the top, and then you go into the oval. Let's see, maybe, I don't know how her hair is gonna be. You go in though, you have to go inside the head shape oval to get the right proportions. I'm trying to think of what I should do for her hair. It's kind of just wavy. Maybe I'll make it short. I never do short hair. That'd be cute, like a cute little bob. Sure. Okay, then we have our little nose, which is hard on here because it's so much going on. Again, that's why I make sure that I put down a little gesso, because then you like can't see anything. When I redraw this with a Stabilo, you'll see it a little bit better. Well, you'll see it a lot bit better. So just hang with me. Okay, there's just the outline, and then her lips go here. Okay, and then her lower lip is like ridiculously beautifully shaped. Yeah, and then her neck should be a little bit bigger than it is, because it's like just little tiny neck, whopping giant head is a little awkward. And then I'm gonna outline these in my Stabilo. Whoop. And you'll see what happens. It's quite magical. I haven't done a project with Stabilo in a while. Actually, I just ran a 5-day challenge. When was that? September. We have over 1,000 people participate in this challenge, and it was a Stabilo all really challenge where he taught how to draw the eyes, nose, and face. I'm definitely gonna do that again. It was awesome. So I taught them how to draw, like I said, eyes, nose, and face, and then as a surprise on the last day we did a full face. But you're getting a full face right now. So I'm gonna put the lashes in last. And the cool part is you only have to draw the like main parts of the face, and the water takes the rest of it away. Meaning, like, take it away, like finishes it. Not speaking well. All right, now you have to be super careful erasing. You can erase, just be light because you don't want to tear the napkin. I said I didn't erase, but I do not love a head oval kind of interrupting things. So err on the side of more volume for the hair and not less. And her cheekbones are nuts, which we've already established. Her hair is kind of dumb. Not the real person's hair, like this hair that I'm actually drawing now is kind of dumb. But we can maybe fix that. Maybe I'll fix it right now. We'll have it just cutting over to the left, like a big swoop of wind is coming in and taking it away. And maybe that goes for this as well. Get a little drama going. Okay. All right. So we have kind of the, oh, I didn't do her actual face shape here. All right, so I'm gonna start with this. I might need to add on, I might need to add some more stabilo just to activate it, just so that when I activate it, you're actually like seeing. So what happens is, as you can see, when I hit it, it goes crazy. And that's what I'm looking for. So a better background, instead of the gesso, which I should have used actually, is what works even better is actually absorbent ground, because absorbent ground is actually made for watercolors. It's like gesso for watercolors. But too late, we're already here right now. I forgot about that. So that would have been a more appropriate. It does work better though, because the gesso is made for acrylics, which sits on top of the surface, and the absorbent ground actually creates an absorbent layer so that it soaks up the watercolors, which is how watercolors work. All right, so as you can see, when I drag my pencil around, it activates all of this. We're gonna add we're gonna add the lashes after. So it's a very like loose, I'm sure you've seen other people do stabilo faces. It's pretty common, fun, mixed media little activity. And it is super fun. So I'm making the areas by her face kind of dark because it makes her face pop out more. And as you can see, it's super cool because the napkin like shows through in like a little peekaboo style. Looks like her hair is like hugging her face. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, we'll get some good drama going. So let's do this. We're gonna have some on the side of the face. Gonna have it coming on either side of the nose. That's what kind of creates the nose bridge shape. So instead of doing the nose, we're gonna just spread the stabilo to create the nose. And there's always shadow under the nose. And this part of the nose brings it up. And again, that's what actually creates the nose bridge. And then the lips get quote unquote colored in. So I like to do the stabilo in phases. So we have the kind of the one, and then I like to do a second coat that's dry and leave it dry. Or you can do a second coat, activate it, and then a third coat and leave it dry. So you have a kind of both. You have some dry stabilo just working as like a black colored pencil, more or less. Dude, her bone structure is like nuts. And I'm not drawing it right because it's interacting with her hair. So if you want, you can take that inside of the napkin that I was saying don't rid of, and then you don't get rid of, and then you can actually blot anything that goes too crazy. You can really quickly and easily just get rid of. And the stabilo is so reactive. You can pick it up for a long time afterwards. It doesn't really wear away. I mean, it doesn't turn permanent. I just said the exact opposite of what I meant to say. Right, so we have this kind of swooping through. That eye looks awesome, but this eye looks like crazy. No worries. We'll get it all there eventually, or not. All right, so I'm gonna dry this with my hair dryer, and then I'm gonna go back for another layer. Yep. Yes, I will. Okay, but here's just like a first pass. And again, it's this shadowy stuff on either side that creates the illusion of the nose bridge and everything coming forward. I'm gonna dry this really quick with my hair dryer. All right, so for the second layer, again, it's so fun because you can keep layering and like you can activate this if you want to, or you can just leave it dry. So this is becoming just her hair, so I'm just gonna go with it. It's not really what I had in mind, but sometimes you just gotta pivot to make things happen. And then like this side of her face kind of got lost. So I'm gonna just kind of put it back on. Sorry, face, sorry about that. All right. So I'm gonna also add, you gotta have some lashes. So I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna activate one more time and see what happens. And then I'm gonna absolutely do it like a final layer. Because I already know right now that it's what I'm gonna wanna do. All right, but here's this to get us started and back on track. And then I'll show you what's going on with the last layer. So again, we have like just more swoopy whoopies. And the beauty of the napkin is the texture under there, and it makes it look really like artsy fartsy. Who doesn't want to look artsy fartsy? But it makes it like a very painterly. This is too wet. Where's my towel that I was using? So you can make the eyelashes this way. And then if that's not enough, you can go back and add a dry one on top, which I usually like to do because I love me some lashes. And then you can add anything you want to punch up. You can just go back and add another coat if you want to. That was her neck. Can't even make sense of her hair versus her neck. It's all kinds of crazy over here. All right, but see how lovely the napkin, what is that? The napkin is in the background. It's just this like beautiful ethereal kind of thing. So I'm gonna dry it one more time and I'll just add some last minute. Oh gosh, we're having like a windstorm outside. Holy moly. And I'll show you how I would just add the finishing touches. All right, so the finishing touches I'm gonna always use pretty much the same two things. One is a pink pen and the other one is a black pen of some sort. This is a Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. I've lately been obsessed with it for doing all my finished details. It's filled with a permanent ink. But you could use an ink and a paintbrush. It's the same thing. It's just all in one package. And it's great for eyelashes. I just did a video on using this for eyelashes on this channel. You can come up here and do some amazing lash effects. Woohoo! Give her the full Monty of lashes. All right, and then here's her eyeball. Like go big or go home on the eyeballs, always. Same thing, this eye's a little mangled over here, so we'll give it some constructive surgery. All right, more lashes, 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 lashes. All about the lashes. She doesn't even have an eye pupil, which makes her look really mangled. So we can, anything we want to accentuate, we can use this pen for. Give her some actual hair eyebrows. Give her some flowing looks. We have her nose. We can accentuate her nosy. We can sweep this through her hair if we want to. or not. It's a little bumpy from all the texture, but it's kind of fun. Have some sweeping, extra sweeps of hair going around. And then the same thing with her mouth. We can add any little details that were lost, or the stabilo is like too harsh, we can kind of add back in. And then with our paint pen, if there's anything that was lost or we wanted to add like more accentuated eye shine, or like the whites of the eyes weren't looking correct or the right way, we can go in here and fix them with our little fun paint marker. We can add like a nose, some highlights on her nose to really like kick that up further. We can add that, give her some real dimension and pop. Maybe there's even some on her lips here. Yes, now here's some drama. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and then you can even go one step further. And if this is dry, be really careful. Only do this if your sheet is dry. So we can swerve some kind of white in there, and just the white and the black, you know, together with the contrasts. Yummo. Yeah, it is. Okay, and then we can have some on her cheek. So you can add as much kind of white, but oh, on the like dingy napkin-y surface, it's just super good. And then of course, as you want, you can do anything else in the background if you want to. I have an idea, and I think I'm gonna try it, actually. Oh, actually, I'm gonna show you two things. So I love fountain pen inks, and I think it would be cool to maybe maybe like put some inks around in the corner. Now these inks are very much water soluble, just like the stabilo. So they react when you add more water. So at the end, I'm gonna spray it with like an acrylic spray sealer to kind of freeze everything in place, or else like this page won't be protected, but you really didn't have to if you weren't worried about it getting wet. Then you can add water too. So pretty. This is Purple Martin. It's by Noodler's Ink. And sometimes it's just, you could do this with acrylics as well, but I just, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, I bet you my inks would look super gorgeous, because it's like the same exact color as that. The color in the napkin. Remember, if you choose the colors that you see in your napkin, it will automatically be a perfect match. So just, that's all you have to do. It's like a art sheet, but use it to your advantage. All right, so pretty. You could also put some more gesso like around her if you wanted to make her face pop forward more. That's always an option, and I've done that in a lot of projects too. You just do like a little halo of gesso, and that brings her forward. You could also add, you know, additional, if your highlights, you really wanted them to pop, you could just add, you could go in with acrylic paint, but I love me some paint pens. So I hope you thought the tutorial was fun and interesting, and you're gonna give it a try, and I will see you back here again. Make sure to subscribe, and I will be returning next week for some more fun, easy mixed media projects. See you next week.